All right. Awesome. Hi, you guys. Good morning. It is Saturday, December 2nd, and we are in the last month of the year, which is crazy. I'm so excited for everybody who is on. I'm excited for our guest this morning. If you will all go ahead and mute yourselves out. I know Christy's going to get that up too. But I'm just going to go over some very quick announcements before we jump into our trainer, because I definitely want you all to have time to hear her. There's so much great stuff that she has to share with us. So first of all, I'm sure that you saw Arbonne has officially launched the Jamaica trip for our Arbonne Incentive Trip, AIT 2018. So you guys, everybody wants to earn this. You all want to be there. We all want to be there with you. Christy's going to share a few tips on how to earn it, and it really takes intention to earn these incentive trips and helping as many people as you can to grow their businesses and promote. So we also just launched this month's Pure Perks, which you guys can check those out yourself. It is the metabolism boost and the full control. So the evolution set, so it aids in weight loss. I love the powder, the full control powder, either before I'm going to the grocery store or an event or somewhere where I know I'm going to be tempted by the food there, but I'm not supposed to be eating it, right? Or like a wedding or, so I'm like, oh, I'm kind of full right now, so I'm okay, or I make better choices when I use the full control. And then the thermo booster that is now called Metabolism Boost, if you haven't seen the name change. But it helps for your body to speed up thermogenesis and burn fat quicker and better, and also helps to after meals. You take it before meals and it helps you burn those calories off. So really wonderful. You can look at them more yourselves, because again, we have a very full morning, so I don't want to go too far into it. We also have coming up here very soon, we're going to have some changes to the performance accounts. And so you can check this out on the source for yourself. But basically, if you don't know what a performance account is, great. You don't want to rely on it. We trained on this a few months ago, but if you do know what they are, there used to be an unlimited, there was no cap to them. They never ended. You could always grow your performance account. They started to run out, and you could use them until they ran out. Well, what's going to happen come January 1st is there will be a cap in the year of how much you can take from your performance account as a district manager, as an area manager, region, and nation. So that we're all being much more proactive in our businesses. That's kind of the long and short of it. Again, we'll get more information up for you guys because this is such a long call. We don't want to make it super long for you guys. So there's that. And then we also have coming up the very last Discover Arbonne and recognition for our team for the Tell the World Nations. This is going to be coming up on Wednesday, December 6th. That's in Carlsbad if you're here local to North County, San Diego. And then, so make sure you mark your calendars for that. And then we also have the second Monday up in Irvine. There will be, it's going to be an ugly sweater party and the last training and recognition up there. So make sure that you're marking your calendars. And Miss Alex can share about her car party coming up. We're super excited for her. She promoted back in the summer, yeah? And yes, awesome. Okay, so she's going to share the information on that with you guys. So with that, the last thing I do want to share before I forget, we have a 10-day detox coming up. So it's going to start on December 11th, and Miss Area Manager Sarah Raymond is going to post a quick video and the files and the pictures up on our page for that, so that your clients can get started with a little kickstart December 11th and they'll end just before Christmas. So we definitely want to jump on nutrition and get the word out now. Be doing your virtual events, get people around the table for tastings and all of that. You guys, nutrition is so huge in our business, and especially come January. So all the preparation starts now, right? So with that, those are the announcements for the morning, and I'm going to actually pass it off to our special guest. Her name is Alex Stettler. She is absolutely wonderful. She's going to share with you. She's a sideline of ours, and I've had the privilege of knowing Alex since she started her business, and she is just the sweetest, kindest heart ever. She is so genuine, and she's going to share with us how she took her business from area manager and ramped it up and just ran for region, and the changes that she made to get her there, and what's going on now. So Alex, I'm going to pass it to you.
Yay! Oh my gosh. Thank you so much, Ruth. And thank you so much, Christy. I'm so honored to have been asked to speak on this call. You are both women that I have long admired, and both just you as people and your businesses. I was at both of your car parties when I was an area manager, dreaming about that white Benz. And it feels like forever ago, but it wasn't that long ago. So hi, you guys. My name is Alex Stettler, and I am a regional vice president with Arbonne, an independent consultant. And I have been with Arbonne. We are coming up almost to 4 years. It'll be 4 years in February. So, but when I went region, it was right at that 3.5-year mark. And I will be completely honest with you, because I believe in authenticity in life and in this business. But I thought I was going to be a region a lot quicker than 3.5 years. So if you have been in Arbonne for some time and you're feeling a little bit frustrated or like stuck, or sort of disappointed with yourself, that's definitely where I was about a year ago. And more than a year ago, but hopefully I will say something to you this morning that speaks to you, that inspires you to dig deep, to keep going, and maybe make some tweaks and some shifts that will help you. Because it's been a journey, and now looking back, I can see so clearly the journey that I had to go on, that I'm a believer, so I believe God took me on this journey, whatever it is for you, if it's the universe or whatever. But you're on this journey for a reason, and you're going through the things you're going through for a reason, and you won't see it until later. So just, okay, so I started with Arbonne almost 4 years ago, and I was introduced to the products even a little bit before that by now new National Vice President Zoe Kinney. And I know, it's so exciting. She just promoted 2 nights ago, so we're still kind of like, right now. Okay, so Zoe and I have known each other for a long time. So our husbands used to work together in the cheer and dance industry, and she and I were both dance teachers and dance choreographers. That was her full-time job. That was my side fun job, because what I did, my real job was I was in medical device sales and pharmaceutical sales prior to Arbonne. And I loved the income that I made. And I'm saying this not to impress you, but just to give you perspective of where my head was. But I was making 6 figures before I was 30 years old. So, and I know Christy's like that too, which is why I've always looked at Christy as such a leader for myself too, because I relate to her so much. But so when my girlfriend showed me, talked to me about this Arbonne business, I thought, oh gosh, that's so cute for you, sweetie. But I really didn't think it was something for me. I thought it was small. And so, but I fell in love with the products because I had just had a baby and I wanted something cleaner. So I fell in love with the products, the ingredient policy, and something started changing in my brain where I just thought, well, maybe this is something I could do just for fun, just to have something for myself. Again, I'll make a little extra cash on the side, because I went from making, my own significant income to being fully dependent on my husband. I got laid off when I was actually 5 months pregnant. And that was an inflection point for me now, I know, looking back, because I realized I never wanted to put my future in somebody else's hands again. I was so over being yanked around by the sales industry. And it's like, if you're doing great, they don't do anything for you. And if you are, the only way you get attention is if you're not doing so well, and then you're just suddenly without a job. Right, Christy? So anyways, I realized at that point I never wanted to put my future in somebody else's hands. So I didn't know about Arbonne at that time. So fast forward, when my friend Zoe told me about Arbonne, I just sort of brushed it off until much later, when I finally took the time to go to a Discover Arbonne, and I learned more about the company. And I went, it was at Erin Farrell's house when she lived in Laguna Beach. And if that doesn't paint the vision for you, I don't know what will, right? Because that was like the most gorgeous house ever. So anyways, at that point I was like, I'm in, this is it. This is what's going to give me everything I want, the time freedom, the financial freedom. I've been in sales forever. I got this. I can so do this. I have all the pieces. And little did I know that this journey changes you. This journey makes you a better version of yourself if you allow it to. And nobody comes into Arbonne knowing how to do Arbonne, okay? So it doesn't matter what background you came from. If you were a sales professional, if you were a vice president, if you were a teacher, whatever, it really does not matter, because I thought I was going to take off like a rocket. And I did have some early success. I promoted to area manager in the first 7 months, but I swear that was just from my own just bullheadedness, just driving forward, because that's what I was used to, okay? But I'll tell you what, I didn't build a lasting team that way. I didn't build lasting clients that way. I didn't make a lot of friends that way. And I found myself, I had like I couldn't duplicate myself, and I found myself having constant turnover in my business, okay? And I think that came from several things, which I will kind of talk about. But one thing I'm going to say is, so journey to region, so we promoted July 31st, which it's so ironic that I promoted in July, because typically July is the worst month in my business. Like the year before, July was literally the worst month I'd had in 2 years, and I was about to quit. So it's so funny that God turned it around a year later, and it was my best month ever, and it was the month we promoted. So don't ever put expectations on your month, what it's going to be, at any point. So, okay. So for 3.5 years, you guys, and still today, I put in consistent effort. I talked about Arbonne. I did events. I met new people. I showed up. I showed up to GTC faithfully. I showed up to trainings. I showed up to the monthly meetings, up to car parties. I showed up and I plugged in to the calls every Monday night. And for a while, I was like, oh, what, after 3 years of doing that and not being a regional vice president yet, I was like frustrated, because I'm like, man, I feel like I'm doing everything I'm supposed to be doing, and it's not moving fast enough. And something I've learned from reading and listening to people and things like that is, you have to look at this journey in at least, in your bare minimum window, a 3 to 5 year window. Okay. And I was only looking at 1 to 2 years or 3 years, maybe tops. Okay. But you have to, when you start this business, and this is what I even tell people when I sponsor them, I tell them, don't look at your success in 6 months. Don't even look in a year. You have to right now basically commit to a journey of 3 to 5 years. I try not to use the word commit, because sometimes that scares people, but I just say, you know what, this business isn't about getting rich in 6 months. It's about creating a new future for yourself over the next 3 to 5 years. And luckily, I've been in that time, so I can kind of paint the picture for them. Not luckily, but that's what it is. So if you've been in Arbonne longer, your story and the length of time that you've been here is going to inspire somebody else who's been there for a while to keep going. And that's the other thing I realized about my journey through all the mistakes and all what I was seeing as failures. Now that I have, pushed past that, and we're at the place that we are now, that inspires other people who are also feeling like failures to keep going. So now I'm so grateful for my failures, and that it wasn't an easy road at all the time, because now I have that story to share with other people. So whatever struggles you're going through, it's just making you a better person. So, okay, so consistent effort and showing up. So you have to consistently do that no matter how much time you've been there, because that's going to teach other people, and it's just going to make you a better leader and a better person. And the number one thing I can say that contributed to us becoming a region was that consistent effort over time. Number one, if you read the book, The Slight Edge, it talks about that. It's just the little actions that you take over, the little daily actions you take add up over time more than any big thing. Okay. So literally, if I don't know, well, I don't know if I should say this, but if you read a little bit every day and you talk to people a little bit every day, that's going to do more for your business than doing nothing all year and then going to GTC. Okay. So not that I'm saying you shouldn't go to GTC, you should 100% go to GTC, but it's not going to mean anything if you don't also do the other little things. Okay. So Another thing that I kind of had to come to realizing, because I'm a workhorse and I will work and work and work and work and work until my family like flips out on me or until I exhaust myself and I'm like laid out in bed because I've made myself sick because I'm not sleeping or whatever. I have found that I really love work and I really love engaging with people and I love being busy. And but I found that I was doing this to you have to have balance in your life. And that doesn't mean that you necessarily work less, but that means you put equal amount of intention into other areas of your life, into your friendships, into your marriage, into your children, into your reading, so for me, I suddenly looked and I realized Keith Kochner talks about like your table of life, and there's like 4 pillars of your table. My Arbonne leg was like, whoa, I was putting a lot of intention there, and I wasn't putting any intention in my marriage. I wasn't putting any intention into my faith, my exercise, my health. Like I wasn't going to yoga anymore. I wasn't doing any of this stuff. And I realized my table was really lopsided. So it wasn't necessarily that I worked less, but I went, you know what? Here's my time I'm dedicating to Arbonne. I'm still going to my meetings. I'm still committing to the calls. I'm still talking to people. I'm still doing this, but I'm going to put some of that intention and some of that effort. I'm going to start waking up at 5 o'clock in the morning at least a couple days a week. Because for me, I've always said I'm not a morning person. And so I had to change that verbiage. And suddenly I started telling myself, I am a morning person. I am going to be one of those people that gets up early and goes to yoga and does yoga first thing in the morning. Because I always in my head, I was like, I wish I could be one of those women that wakes up early and like exercises first thing. And then suddenly I had this epiphany. I was like, well, if I want to be that person, I just need to be that person, So I started doing it. And so I started feeling better you get those endorphins going and you start feeling better. You start looking better. Your body feels better, and your energy is better and all that stuff. And when you have that balanced life and you put intention into all those areas of your life, you become happier. You become more attractive to people. Okay. So I went from I was, doing as many Arbonne events as I could possibly book. Okay. And I was posting about all of them. Okay. So my whole life looked like it was just Arbonne, all the time. And do you think that was very attractive to people that they thought I was working all the time. They thought I was working really hard. They thought I was busy all the time with Arbonne and that I wasn't spending time with my kids. I wasn't doing other things that were fulfilling. So that wasn't very attractive to people, okay? I would say probably 90% of the people I've sponsored in the last year have come to me because they've seen in the last year, they've seen the balanced life. They've seen that I'm happier. They've seen that I'm healthier. They've seen that whole well-rounded picture. And I think that was a shift that I made. And in my marriage, in my relationship, because I'll be totally honest with you guys, there were times earlier in my Arbonne career and not so long ago that was a little bit out of balance because I was so focused and so determined that I sort of neglected my relationship and my marriage, and that stress was felt. And if, I think there are times when things are going to be a little bit out of balance, and there are times when there are stressors in our relationships, and that's not a bad thing if you learn from them and you make adjustments to make your relationship better. So by me putting intention into our marriage, into our relationship, that made our relationship so much better. And so then when the success came, it was that much sweeter, And Steve, my husband's name is Steve, so we went on the AIT trip in October, and I have this picture of him, and I almost posted it, but it's so unflattering of him that he would kill me if I did it, because he'd had a couple margaritas or whatever, and he was passed out in a hammock. He had one of the hotel robes on, and he was passed out in the hammock in October. And I just had this, and suddenly I was like, oh my gosh, I just had this epiphany, because October is usually his busiest time of the year in his business. And he's usually like stressed out to the max, doesn't take a second for himself. And here he was, lay down in a hammock, a little drunk, passed out, and I was like, yay, we did it. I finally got him to relax. I finally took enough pressure off of him that he could just like, let it go and relax a little bit, and that was like, thank God I put that. And he even said when we were on that trip, he's like, this is the best our relationship has been. This is the best. And I went, this is what your Arbonne career should look like. It shouldn't look like me 2 years ago, stressed out, pushing everything else aside all the time for just my business. And you guys, there are exchanges that need to be made. There are, okay? So I don't want to lie and say like there are exchanges that need to be made, but at the same time that you need to have a balanced life, because it makes you a more attractive business builder, and it makes you happier, and it makes everybody in your life more supportive of what you're doing. Okay. So that to me, becoming your best self. So this journey was so much about becoming my best self. So I started going back to church. I joined a mom's group that I always told myself before, I don't have time for that. While my son is in his 3 hours of preschool on Fridays, I don't have time to go to a Bible study mom's group, like that's crazy. I got to work. And no, I went to that mom's group because then I made some new connections. It helped me calm down. It made me more balanced. It made me more, all that stuff. So you have to put intention into all those areas because that attracts other people. Okay, sorry, I'm like going on a huge tangent on that. Okay, so that leads me to my other thing is be authentic. You have to be authentic on Facebook, on social media, with your team. Mistakes are part of the journey. Failure is part of the journey. And if you are just putting perfection out there all the time, you're not going to attract people either. And because it's not real. And I feel like everybody has a BS radar. And and if you're just like poly perfect all the time, that BS radar is going to be like sounding on people all the time. And so you really have to, that comes in a lot of different forms. So on social media, I'll be like, hey, like I just did a couple days ago, and I made Zoe do it too, because sometimes I feel like, she's my best friend. And so I can be hard on her, but sometimes I'm like, you're a little poly perfect right now. We're going to do a pizza post because you ate pizza and you are going to admit it right now, So because I did, I went to Austin with her and I'm like, I'm taking you to my favorite pizza place. We're going. And we totally pigged out and ate pizza, and we ate gluten and we ate dairy. And then we felt kind of gross afterwards, but but those are the kind of things like people will relate to. You're not perfect all the time. Nobody's perfect all the time, right? We all have struggles, and that doesn't mean you have to like be like, my marriage is falling apart, or like, all over social media. You don't want to be negative Nancy. You do it in a positive way, in a way that's like, by sharing a little piece of my journey, I might inspire somebody else. I might, because I read a book called Love Warrior, which has nothing to do with business or Arbonne, but the thing that I took away from it most was something that Brene Brown talks about this a lot too, is that relationships are formed by vulnerability. You have to be vulnerable in order to really bond with somebody, because what we bond over is that, like, you struggle with that too? Me too. Oh my gosh. Like, I thought I was the only one. No, like, sometimes I don't like being with my 5-year-old or whatever, you know what I mean? Like, oh, I'm not a horrible mom. Okay. Oh, that makes me feel better. So whatever it is. So you have to be authentic and not like I said, not negative Nancy all the time, but just be yourself, because who you are, somebody else is going to relate to that. So I stopped trying to be Erin Farrell, and I stopped trying to be Shay Hershag, and I stopped trying to be Zoe Kinney, and I just was me. And I made that shift in how I talked to people about Arbonne. I made that shift in how I was on social media. I made that shift in a lot of areas of my life, and I just was me. And I was constantly trying to be the best me and working on being the best me by doing things that I loved and that fulfilled me and that built me up. but I was just me, you know? And so just be you. And that, for instance, like for me, it doesn't make me want to vomit to like speak in public or speak on a call or whatever. Like some people, that makes them cringe and like want to curl up and die. And I'm not like that, probably because I think Christy and I are really similar. I used to dance on stage. I was in musical theater. And then in our careers, we have to do sales presentations all the time, right? So we're used to being in front of people, and that's just how it is. So for somebody that's like a shy introvert, my business probably looks really, really, really hard to them. Okay. But if you are a shy introvert and you show them how you do it, and you can show them like, look, I hate public speaking, but this is what I do. I recorded a video or whatever. Like, you're going to inspire the shy introvert if you're a shy introvert, you know? And like Mindy Preddy is, I think if you've ever been to one of her car parties, she's an incredible leader. Clearly her business is like ridiculous, but if you've ever been to one of her car parties, I was like, this is what's going on. This is like very mellow. This is very quiet. Like, I don't want to say the B word, boring. Like, I don't know. I was like, what's going on? But I'm like a show person, and she's like a quiet introvert. And guess what? Her business is like 100 times bigger than mine. So it doesn't matter what kind of person you are. Okay. It matters that you're authentic to you, and those people will relate to you. Okay. So always be yourself, be authentic. Taking our businesses virtually. We did that in January. Okay. So this January of 2017. And in June, we went into qual for region. Okay. So I think among all these other changes that I had made, taking our businesses virtual was huge. And for the main reason of, it made it more accessible to more people. Okay. More people are on their cell phones all the time than can come home from a full day's work and then leave their families again and go do events. Okay. So I'm not saying you can't do events. In-person events are great. In our organization now, we use them more as like community building and relationship building. And then the virtual stuff, the videos that we can send out, which I love videos. If you can record a video and send it out, like I don't hardly ever do coffee dates anymore, because I just send them a video. Which also is kind of, I noticed, I think it's more effective because it gives the impression that you are busy, and I mean, which you are, you're busy and you don't have time to meet them if they're not serious about this. Okay. And that's kind of harsh, but think about like when you're dating, and if you're married, try to think back, like the hottest guys were like unavailable, right? The ones that were like busy or whatever. And that's kind of how we want to be, like, oh yeah, I have this thing you might be interested in. I'll send you a video. No big deal. Versus if you're like, hey, do you want to meet for coffee? You would totally be great at this. Oh my gosh, let's meet for coffee. Okay, let's book it right now. You know, like that's way more desperate than like, oh, whatever, I'll just send you a video. So how's things? Like, what's up with your son, you know, or whatever. Do you see the energy, like the difference that's like, hey, I have something amazing. You probably want to be part of it. But, you know, if you're to whatever, like there's a million people I'm talking to right now anyways that are up for it. And if you're not up for it, whatever, moving on, you know? And it just like takes the pressure off of you, takes the pressure off of them. So I friggin' love sending videos. Okay. But Simon Sinek, he is brilliant, and his books are a little bit wordy. I love listening to him on Audible, but Simon Sinek wrote Start With Why. That's one of his books. And one of the things that he talks about is like the most successful businesses, they learn how to serve the most people. Like, and Keith Kochner says that too. If you can serve more people, you will be more successful. So what going virtual does, it allows us to serve more people, both because serve more people with like the products, because we can educate more people, but also by serving more people, being able to build a business. There's a woman in my organization that I actually sponsored her last January, and it was last December. It was right before right before we switched to going virtual. And so I got on a call with her and I was like, okay, you're going to need to book these parties, and this is how many events you need to have a month, and you need to go and do all these things at people's houses. And after that training call, we didn't talk for like 6 months because she ghosted me. She freaked out and she couldn't do it because she is dealing with some severe autoimmune issues, some digestive stuff, which Arbonne helps, but it's a severe diagnosis, and she has severe anxiety. She finally just told me she has severe anxiety being around groups of people because of it. Okay. And so the prior business model that we had would not work for her. She couldn't do it. She couldn't wrap her head around it. And so finally she tells me about this just a few months ago. And I was like, good news. You don't have to do all that stuff. This is how you can do your business. And showed her how to do it virtually. And she's going to finish district this month. She did $2,800 last month, her second month trying to do anything at all, sponsored a new business builder, earned the independent consultant cash bonus, all because we made it more accessible to her. And you know what? You can do in-person events if that resonates with you, if that's your community. That's my personal feeling, is like, do what works for you. And this is what worked for her. And I think that this going virtual is brilliant because it's more accessible to more people. And even if somebody doesn't completely take off with it, they might do them and 2 friends doing the detox. Okay. So let's say they do 1,000 QV. So I want to talk to you about the power of 1,000 QV, because that can make
Alex, babe, we usually finish by 9:30. Can we? Yeah, it's okay. We have like a lot more to go. Maybe like one more minute, one big last tip, and then anybody else that has to skedaddle, they can, and then anyone who wants to stay can stay. So give us one major last tip.
Okay. One major lesson. So the power of 1,000 is you have one person that does 1,000 on like 5 down from you. This literally happened. Okay. That inspired the person above her to go, wow, I can finish district. So then they pushed a little bit more. That inspired the person above her to go, oh my gosh, I can go into area qual. And they pushed a little bit further. So it can all start with one tiny little person doing a little bit more that inspires everybody to just do a little bit more. And that is literally just having a few of those people that pushed everybody a little bit further. That's what finally put us over the edge, I believe. So I'm so sorry that I went so far over. Dive into those people that are committed. Okay. Don't try to drag people along. You will know the people that want to do this. So those are the people that you dive into, that you help, that you coach with, and coach with the people that want to be coached. Some people are super independent like myself, and I have another girl on my team that I barely talked to her all month, and she just finished area. Okay. So just be respectful of people's different personalities. And the month we went region and finished region, I was not overwhelmed by my own activity. I did have my own activity, but I was more overwhelmed by the activity of my team and the amount of the things I was helping them with, the questions I was answering for them, the people that I was helping them launch, all of that. Okay. So it might look different because I always thought I'm just going to be booking a ton of events for myself. I'm going to be doing a bunch of launch parties for myself. No, it looked different. So that's what it looked like for me. Car party is Sunday, December 10th. So next Sunday, in Glendora. It's going to be super fun. Please come. riseregionbensbash.eventbrite.com. Thank you so much for having me. I hope I gave you some good nuggets. I'm so sorry I went so far over.
You're totally fine. No, I had a bunch of people were like, oh my God, she's so cute. She's so cute. Alex, we love you. I do have to reference this. I think you're 1 in a million. I think you're one of those really special people that all of us want to have 5 of you on our team. Can we all agree? Shake our heads. Yeah. Because I can guarantee our team's table, Arbonne is not the highest lake. Our team's table is definitely shifted with a lot more other priorities ahead of it. So looking at Alex, you want to find people who are ready to work and ready to make this happen. And that's what it will take. And if you can find someone who wants to have their Arbonne table crazy and then balance it back to be normal, then great. But I would say 95% of us need to get the Arbonne table up and get the activity and get the sponsoring and get this stuff going because, we have a monstrous team and we have for a really, really long time. And It's really just the activity and sponsoring that's missing. That's all. There's nothing else really they need to do, because I know, I think the two, I know B is an insane workhorse. So I hope you took some tips from Alex, my dear. I love you, Bethany. But social media, totally right. You know, you want to, and you can't just, so here's the difference between Alex and social media. She talks about, she uses social media a lot, and she does, and their whole team does. But I know that you're not just throwing it out there and expecting people just to do it. Like, you're still making calls, you're still booking events, you're still sending texts, you're still doing the work. And I think we need to understand the balance between understanding just throwing stuff out there and seeing what sticks, and being intentional. So a lot of times we think about Arbonne a lot, and a lot of our team spends a lot of their Arbonne table in thought, and they're not spending their Arbonne table leg in action. So if they were spending their Arbonne table leg in action, even if it was consistent over time, little pieces like you mentioned, then they would have the success that they want.
But even if when you're out in your life on your other legs, always have your Arbonne glasses on. So when I was at the moms group, and when I was at yoga class, literally I'd walk in with my Arbonne water bottle, and my yoga teacher would say, "Hey, what is that?" Or, you know, I'd walk in with my protein shake. "Hey, what is that?" And, "Oh, I'll give you samples." You know, "Oh, it's my own business, blah, 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 blah." And so you're always Arbonne glasses on, but in the other areas of your life, when I go on date nights with my husband, I put my phone away because I need to have intention with that time. But guess what? I have business cards in my purse, and I'm prospecting the waitress.
Yep.
I have yet to sponsor one, but I'm going to one day.
You will. And that is right there, the difference between being like, oh, because a lot of people are like, I want to have balance in my life. So they just only focus on life, but they're not putting any intention into their Arbonne business, and then they get frustrated because no action is happening. So understanding there has to be that sacrifice in that exchange sometimes. And yes, and I do the exact same thing. Every server I meet, they get to know me, and every time I go to a gym and I have a new instructor, I'm going to talk to them. Like, very intentional about using the time I'm doing other things to incorporate my business into.
Because you incorporate it in your life, and that's how you achieve balance. It's not like, okay, I'm going to spend an hour at my desk today, and then the rest of I'm not doing anything Arbonne. I'm not talking about Arbonne. You're constantly incorporating, like, I'm sure, Christy, like, when you go to Disneyland, I swear I should make my Disneyland pass. I should write it off, because I try to talk to everybody in line. I'm always looking for, like, cute moms. Like, "Oh, we should meet up here again." Like, oh, you know, constantly. So, and
how cool is that? You're at stinking Disneyland.
Right. So, and that's when I started bringing joy back into my business, because for a while I had kind of lost my joy in it. And what brought joy, part of what brought the joy back, was that I balanced my life out, but you always keep your Arbonne glasses on, and you're always, and you're not looking for people that you can get. You're looking for people that need you.
Yes.
You need this, and need a friend, and need someone to lift them up, and need someone to bring them into our sisterhood, and need someone to show them how to make a second income or a first income or whatever, you know?
Right.
So.
Love it. Thank you, Miss Alex. I'm going to find like 10 of you. Disneyland in line.
Now, and not what I was. Oh my gosh.
No, I'll take you anytime.
Oh my gosh. Well, thank you. No, people.
We love you.
Sorry. Can I say one more thing?
Yeah.
Sorry. When I finally went region, people said, "Oh, you've been working so hard for this," and I was like, "Oh man," and it just made me reflect. And I was like, you know what? I may have spent a significant amount of time, but when I think about how hard most people work, you know, my dad has been an executive in different sprinkler companies for the last 40 years, probably. Maybe not 40, no, 30 years, because he's like 60. So yeah, 30 years, let's say. And he has worked hard, you guys. He would be gone from our family for 2 weeks at a time when we were little. He works on Saturdays. He works on Sundays. He works constantly. He's gone. He wakes up at 4 a.m. He gets home at like 7 o'clock at night, 8 o'clock at night sometimes. He works hard. I don't work that hard. You know, like when I look back, when you think work hard, okay, maybe I worked Arbonne hard, but Arbonne hard in comparison to other people's hard, slaving it away at a job for 40 plus years, it's nothing. It's nothing. And I want to shake them and go, I didn't work that hard. Like, I don't want to admit that because then I feel like I don't deserve all this stuff. But at the same time, I'm like, it's not that hard. It's not that hard.
No,
so
it's not. It's not. We love you. Thank you, babe. You're the best.
Thanks for having me.
All right, you guys, we're going to jump into talking about December AIT nutrition. And anybody that needs to skedaddle, go ahead and do it. We'll put this on the website so you guys can rewatch. So December, we know that the month kind of gets ahead of people because of Christmas and all this stuff. So make sure the beginning of your month, you want to be really focusing on your one-on-ones, your events, your drop kits, and also the green detox that Ruth mentioned, that Sarah Raymond will have a video and a picture so that you can start today, being that it's the 2nd, so it starts in 9 days. You can start texting and letting your clients know, or anybody who wanted to do nutrition before or wanted to do the Thanksgiving through Christmas but couldn't for money reasons, or they didn't think they had enough time. It's a quick little 10-day situation that they can handle between the 11th and the 20th of December. So it gets them on the product, falling in love with the product, and gets them wanting more. So hopefully they have some results. They can host something for you by the end of the year, and they can get some clients referrals on for the New Year's group that we're going to do as well. So make sure you're not waiting till the end of December to do your activity. You need to be doing your activity in the beginning of December as well. And if you can't get the events, do virtual, send them a text of the nutrition, send them a text of the skincare, do FaceTime one-on-ones, whatever you need to do, but you need to make sure you're intentional and building that Arbonne leg up, because the table has to be sturdy. If this is all like this and you're not making any money with Arbonne, it's usually because there's not enough activity to hold it there. So the last week of the month of December is going to be crazy if you allow it. I'm going to let this disclaimer out there right now. December and January, again, I'm saying it again, is the biggest months of the year for nutrition if you want them to be. 80% of the population is going to do some sort of cleanse, detox, whatever, and it might as well be yours, and it might as well be through you. And if you don't ask them, they will do something else. That's all. And this time frame is a really good time for you to utilize as a springboard for the rest of your entire year. So get prepared for the last week of the month to be a little nuts, just letting you know if you want to take advantage of it. Do you have to do that? No. But if you were a smart cookie, you would do it, okay? Don't let the month go by, because in February, people don't care as much about nutrition as they do at the end of the month of December and in January. It is the time where everyone cares a lot, okay? They will care in February too, but they're going to super care at the end of December and in January. This is when Ruth went area. This is when I went region. This is when you guys can go area. This is when you guys can go region. You can go region anytime, but this is literally like people are handing you like golden nuggets. Like, it's ridiculous. So take it and run with it. We will, for January 1st, have the 500 Biggest Loser Challenge. So just letting you know, if you are telling people about the 10-day detox and they're like, I'm not really ready, you can say, oh my gosh, well, there's going to be a Biggest Loser Challenge in January with a $500 prize. So you can at least prep them and let them know, can I put you down on the list to check back in with you? Or do you want to get that one now? Whatever, right? So AIT was launched. I am actually going to share my screen because I've got some good stuff for you guys to see. Okay, so I'm gonna I'll go here. So share screen. All right, so I'm going to go to Facebook first. So Facebook, here is the cute little thing we added to the Tell the World Nations page. These documents are all in different places because we literally just got them done like this morning because it was launched yesterday. This is actually from Donna Johnson. Super cute. It's on our Tell the World Nations page. Print it. It has the different volume levels on the tree trunk, and then it has the people you need to sponsor in the tree leaves. And that's really, really cute, and it's something that you can print and put in your office and color in when you hit those things, and I will teach you how to hit those things. Here is and I can't really read it that well, but I'll just kind of tell you what it is. This is the breakdown for the levels. So level 1, 25,000 QV. You guys, I'm going to tell you how to do this, so don't even worry about the QV right now. I'm just saying you're going to get an Arbonne share if you hit this level, and you have to promote one person between now and the end of May. The chair is adorable. I'm earning the dang chair. I don't know about you all, but we all like Arbonne swag. Who wants this chair? I want this chair. Thank you. Okay. 50,000, you get an Arbonne Rolly bag. You have to promote 2 people. So level 3 is the level that you earn the trip. So if you are like dead set, I'm going to Jamaica, I'm taking my family on a totally paid for vacation to beautiful crystal waters, and we're going sailing and swimming with dolphins, and we're, going to have free food and drinks, and we're going to have a blast. And I'm going to show them the vision. I'm going to paint the vision all over social media. And this is your vision of what you want to have happen for you. You have to hit level 3. That's 85,000 new in you between now and the end of May. You get the room, and it's for 2, okay? For 2 people. If you do level 4, 125,000, you get a special reception. And if you do higher than that, you actually can earn top 50, and there's other prizes and such that you can win and earn for that. So this is on our Facebook page. It will be on our website probably later on. So I'm going to show you now how the heck do we earn this gosh darn thing. All right. So I'm going to be real with you all. You have to promote people and sponsor people to make this happen. If you don't, there is basically no way that you can make $125,000 happen yourself in your own central district without sponsoring people. It's just not going to happen. And they want you to have the promotions. So I broke this down by month, every month. And I want to show you, it does not have to be hard. And just like Alex said, it's about consistent effort. So italicized is what you have to do every month. And it's exactly the gosh darn same. So December, so that means this month, you need to do your 2,500 PQV block. That's 8 orders. And if you're going to be focusing on doing the nutrition like hardcore, which I always do because it brings in a ton more clients for me, ton more preferred clients for me, and a ton more possible consultants for me, I utilize this time to really kind of ramp up my my prospect list, because they're the people who are going to do the nutrition and then want to join my team. So I'm going to do way more than my 2,500 block. And if in December you are ready to roll, bust out December as hard as you can and keep going. But if you do your 2,500 PQV block and you sponsor 2 new direct to you, that means you might need to sponsor 3 or 4, because 2 new, if they do their 1,500 PQV only, okay? So that would give you a total volume of 5,500 QV for the month. And because it's doubled in December, it actually gives you 11,000 QV for Jamaica. So it's a really good start on Jamaica just by doing that, okay? So that's not overwhelming. That's 8 orders, sponsoring 2, and getting them in a call with a very minimal amount, okay? January, you do your 2,500 block again. You sponsor 2 new again. The December new are going to do their 2,500. So they did their 1,500. Now they're going to do their 2,500. So now you've got 10,500 for that month. Guess what? You just went into area qual. Oh yeah, you went into area qual. I didn't write that down. So in January, if you're not going to go into area qual in December, you could go into area qual in January just by doing this and focusing and being focused with intention. And with the volume you had before, you now have $21,000 for Jamaica. February, you do your 2,500 block again. You sponsor 2 new. They do their 1,500 in February. Your January new consultants did their 2,500, and your December new consultants finished their 3rd month of qual with their 3,500 each. You've promoted 2 district managers. You have enough volume with 33,000 to earn level 1, and you're actually in your 2nd step of area qual. And then March, and this will be on there so you guys can see this. Again, you do your 2,500 block. Remember what Alex said about being consistent. If you guys are consistently intentional about doing this, you're going to earn all 4 levels. Sponsor 2 new with your 1,500 PQV. Your February peeps are going to do their 2,500. Your January peeps are going to do their 3,500. And your December peeps are already district managers, and you want them to be bonusing because they're going to be bringing new people. You will have done $61,000 for Jamaica. You will have finished area, and you will have earned level 2. Okay. Now, granted, there is some extraness in here because we know not every single person we sponsor is going to do exactly what we want them to do. Is that correct? Shake our heads if we understand that. Yes. But if you are focusing and you're intentional about every single month, you have 2 new people in qualification for district, which is hilarious because that's our system. 2 new people in qualification for district every single month, direct to you no matter what. And they are going to be finishing district and you're going to be continuing to get that 2 new more. April, you've got your 2,500. You've got your 2 new doing their 1,500. And this is basic. You might have somebody coming into your business who wants to do district in 1 month. If they do that, then obviously that's going to be more volume for you. So this is just a very simple, basic template. Your February peeps will do their 35. Your January will have, done. Your Februarys will have hit their district. Your Januarys will have done their bonus. Your Decembers should be close to area quals. You should have earned level 3, and you will be in region qual. This is for someone who starts their business in December, okay? So this is 4 months. This is crazy, but you know what? The thing is, you guys, it literally comes down to, like Alex said, you don't want to be the only runner, the only person busting everything out because you're not going to get where you need to go. So if you're focusing on intention of bringing new people in your business and teaching them correctly to be getting their numbers and going district, if you become a district making machine, then you're going to end up getting to where you need to go, where you want to go. All right, May, you have done your 2,500 block. You've sponsored 2 more. They've done their 1,500. The Aprils have done their 2,500. The Marches have finished district. The Februarys have bonused. The Januarys have done their 7,500. And the Decembers that started in December have gone area qual in May. Your total volume that month is 59,800. It's extra 0 there. You have our second step region. Actually, I think you might have finished region. You've earned level 4 and you might possibly be a top 50. Now, like I said, you guys, this is a template, but basically the moral of the story is you need to be doing your 2,500 block and you need to be sponsoring new people. If you don't sponsor new people, you won't have the promotions. But the good thing is during this AIT challenge, any new and you bring in December, you can use all their volume for the rest of the time. So remember when I said utilize nutrition big time? You want to have the most consultants. I've won 6 trips. I'm just telling you, okay? You want to have the most consultants in December join your team because then all of their volume, the whole next 5.5 months are going to be yours too. If you wait to sponsor people till March, you only get March, April, May. Does that all make sense? Yes. Okay, good. All right, so that's Jamaica. And then I'm going to go over nutrition really quickly with you. You guys who were in our business saw this last year. Let me see if I can make it bigger. This is just a document. Oh, that doesn't help. This is just a document that you can use. It's small, whatever. It's on our website already. And it has a checklist. I print 4 of these off for myself every single December and every single January. And I put the person's name underneath each one of these sets that is interested in doing the 30-day. Does not mean they did it. It just keeps a track of who is passively interested. And then when people get it, I cross their name off and then I add them to my tracker, right? So my goal for December is to do 50 sets. And some of you might be like, that's insane. But here's why I'm telling you this strategically. In December and January, people are going to want to do this. If I find 16 people who do the nutrition and they find 3 accountability partners, I have 50 sets, okay? So it's not about me finding 50, just like Alex mentioned, working smarter, not harder. It's about me finding whoever's interested, asking them for accountability partners, and then all of their accountability partners become new clients of my own as well. Does that all make sense? Yes. Okay. So there's another similar one for RE9. So you can print off your RE9 and your nutrition, and maybe RE9 is gifts that people can be getting right now. But if you have 10 sets, that's an extra 3,100 QV for the trip. And that is actually, in December, it's multiplied by 2. So that'd be 6,200. So this is where you guys can really utilize December to kick butt and earn some extra volume for Jamaica. And lastly, I'm a numbers person. So if this is all overwhelming you, I'm going to give you the cliff notes right now. Do your 2,500 block, sponsor 2 new people every month to get them into qualification. Okay. Get your activity in and do the regular system as is, and you're going to be fine. But if you want to utilize December and really make it be a big fat punch for the rest of the year, give yourself a challenge. And here's what I challenge all of you to do. And this is what everyone challenged us to do at AIT in Mexico. Mindy, Preeti, and all of their team said, this month find 10 new people to do the nutrition. That was October. Well, our team says every single month we want to find 8 people to do the nutrition, right? So if you were just going to find 10 people, this is how much volume you would have. You'd have 3,100 volume. So for AIT, it'd be 6,200. Here's what this spreadsheet means. The top is number of kits. The side is how many people on your team. So if you're a team of 1, then this row applies to you. You can pick how much extra volume you want this month. You can pick how much, where you want to be. But if you want to go area qual, then you need to probably do 35 kits yourself. Okay. If you're a team of 1, now granted, remember I said bring 2 people on, so you can cut this in half or in thirds, obviously. But if you were a team of 3 already or 5 already, if you're a team of 5 already, and each of you is going to do 10, you guys are going to have 1,500 or 15,500. Does that make sense? Yes? If you're a team of 5 and you all want to do 20, then you're going to do 31,000. Here's my call to action for all of you. I suggest you all try to go for 20. Because on a normal month, we go for 8, so 10 doesn't seem like much of a stretch. I would say all of you try to go for 20, okay? That means if you find 5 people who find 3, that's already 15. So finding 6 people who get some accountability partners, that's 18. Finding 7 who get some accountability partners, that's 21, okay? So if you have an intention of hitting 20, if you're a team of 1, look at that. That doesn't count your new consultants you added, and it doesn't count reorders or anything like that. If you're a team of 5, look at that. You're at 31,000. You're a team of 5 with your new consultants and your reorders, you're probably going to be going into region qual. So this is the time that these big numbers actually really make sense. The rest of the year, we want to just 8 is great, but this is a time where people are going to want it. So I recommend and I suggest that you push yourself a little further. Get your one-on-ones, everything in the beginning of the month, get nutrition out, make this super fun. We're going to have a blast in January with our nutrition challenge. And like I said, this is when Ruth went area and this is when I went region. And Ruth, I think, when did you finish region? In March?
February.
No, when did you finish region? February. So you finished, so going area and going region, you use the nutrition. Yep. Okay, so this is it, you guys. I'm super excited for you. It's your choice. It's totally up to you. Whatever you want to do with this, you can. These tools are going to be up on the website. Use the palm tree. You can check this out. If you want to have your team do a challenge with you and you want to call them and say, okay, who's wanting to do 10 sets, and you want to rally everybody together and kind of keep each other accountable and be like, I got one. That's totally up to you. I'm super excited. AIT, nutrition, December, January. It's going to be a great couple months. And with that, I think that's it. Unless you have any other questions, I'll go ahead and stop recording for questions that anyone has. Okay, I see some. Hold on. Stop share. Okay. Anybody have any questions? Unmute yourself if you do. Oh, yeah. And bring everyone to Wednesday night because they will see that we get to go to AIT and they can try all the products. Totally worth it. Okay. Any other questions? I'll get 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Woo! Okay. Bye, you guys. Have an amazing Saturday. Get it happening. Get some peeps on your team and rock it out. Can't wait to see you guys walk the stage as regions. Do this. Bye.